You grew up believing one thing about pickup trucks. If something broke, you grabbed a toolbox, opened the hood, and fixed it yourself. Maybe it took an afternoon. Maybe you scraped a few knuckles. But when you were done, the truck was back on the road, and you knew every bolt you had touched. That freedom wasn't just part of owning a truck. It was the whole point. Today, that freedom is disappearing. Not because engines have become impossible to understand. Not because people have forgotten how to turn a wrench. But because the truck itself is beginning to decide who is allowed to repair it. Most owners haven't noticed yet. They think modern trucks are simply more advanced. More computers. More technology. Better fuel economy. Bigger touchscreens. Smarter safety systems. And that's true. But underneath all those upgrades is something much bigger that's quietly changing the entire relationship between you and your vehicle. You're not just buying mechanical engineering anymore. You're buying software. And software comes with rules. Think about what happens when a simple sensor fails on many modern pickups. Years ago, replacing the part was often enough. Today, replacing the exact same type of component may require programming, calibration, security authorization, or manufacturer-specific software before the truck accepts the repair. The physical work might take 15 minutes. The digital permission can take much longer. That's the part nobody tells you. A perfectly installed component can still leave warning lights flashing because the truck refuses to recognize it until it has been electronically introduced to the vehicle. Suddenly, the repair isn't finished in your garage. It's finished at a dealership or a shop with expensive factory-level equipment. This isn't limited to luxury brands anymore. Modern pickups from nearly every major manufacturer rely on dozens of electronic control modules constantly talking to each other. Replace one module without proper programming, and another system may stop communicating. Install a new camera, radar sensor, steering component, or battery management unit, and calibration may become mandatory before safety systems function correctly. Your toolbox didn't become obsolete. It simply stopped being enough. And that's where things begin to get expensive. Imagine backing into a pole at 5 miles per hour. Years ago, you might replace a bumper and keep driving. Today, that same bumper could contain radar sensors, parking sensors, wiring harnesses, cameras, adaptive cruise hardware, and collision avoidance technology. Replace the damaged parts incorrectly, and the truck may disable multiple driver assistance systems until everything is recalibrated. That minor accident suddenly becomes a repair involving computers, specialized targets, laser alignment tools, and manufacturer software. The bill climbs quickly. Now imagine trying to do that repair yourself. You buy the replacement parts. You install everything perfectly. Every connector clicks into place. Every bolt is torqued correctly. But the dashboard still lights up like a Christmas tree because the truck doesn't care how well you installed the hardware. It wants authorization. That's a completely different problem. Manufacturers argue these systems protect safety, improve reliability, and prevent incorrect repairs. And in many cases, that's a fair point. Modern braking systems, driver assistance features, and electronic steering absolutely require precise calibration to work safely. But here's where many owners start asking difficult questions. Why should replacing certain perfectly functional parts require manufacturer-controlled software? Why should independent repair shops struggle to access information that dealerships receive directly? Why does ownership increasingly feel like permission instead of control? Because every time repair access becomes more restricted, one group benefits. The companies controlling the software. If only authorized tools can unlock certain repairs, then authorized service centers become the default destination. If security gateways block diagnostic access, independent mechanics face higher costs just to keep serving customers. If software subscriptions become necessary for repair equipment, those recurring costs eventually find their way into your repair bill. The business model quietly shifts. The truck keeps generating revenue long after it's been sold. And that's where the story changes from technology to control. Look across the industry, and the pattern becomes hard to ignore. Trucks now receive software updates. Features can depend on connected services. Diagnostic systems become increasingly encrypted. Electronic modules verify one another. Security certificates control communication. None of these changes seem dramatic on their own. Together, they create something entirely new. A truck that can increasingly decide how, where, and by whom it's repaired. That's a level of control older generations of truck owners never had to think about. The irony is that today's trucks are mechanically incredible. Engines last longer. Transmissions are stronger. Frames are tougher. Safety technology has saved countless lives. Performance has never been better. Yet the simple ability to maintain what you own has become more complicated than ever. So does that mean DIY truck repair is completely dead? Not yet, but it has entered a new era. The smartest owners are adapting instead of pretending nothing has changed. Call it the repair independence strategy. It starts before you ever buy the truck. Research whether replacement modules require programming. Ask how many repairs depend on dealer-only software. Find out whether independent repair information is available. Learn which diagnostic tools are compatible with your vehicle. Check whether common maintenance items require electronic resets or calibrations. Understand how long the manufacturer supports software updates. Then build relationships with independent repair shops that invest in factory-level diagnostic equipment instead of relying only on mechanical experience. Many of these shops are staying ahead by purchasing advanced scan tools, software subscriptions, and calibration systems that allow them to compete with dealerships. If you enjoy working on your own truck, don't stop. Expand your toolbox. Today's toolbox isn't just sockets and wrenches. It's knowledge, diagnostic scanners, service information, firmware awareness, and understanding how electronics interact with mechanical systems. The people who master both worlds will still have an advantage. Because while many owners complain that trucks have become too complicated, others are quietly learning the new rules. They're not fighting technology. They're learning how to work with it. And that's the difference. The future of truck ownership won't belong to the strongest mechanic. It will belong to the smartest one. Because the next battle isn't over horsepower. It isn't about towing capacity. It isn't even about reliability. It's about who controls the right to repair the machine sitting in your own driveway. And that fight is only just beginning.